ASAD MALIK from Behind the Gloves, joined again by Dominic Ingle. Always good to see you, Dom. How are you?
Just following me around and I'm the only one who's going to do interviews. That's why you keep getting me all the time.
No, it's always good to catch up with you, Dom. I come down to Yorkshire, look forward to catching you wherever you are in the country. Mark Heffron and Liam Williams, what a great turnout at the fight. Both guys looking tremendous shape. Could be a potential show stealer, that fight.
I'm going to ask you a question now. Mark Heffron, who's boxed at super middleweight and middleweight, why do you think he's coming nearly £3 lighter than he's allowed? What do you think?
You as a trainer, you'd be better fit, I think, to answer that question, Dom. What do you think?
Well, it's a miscalculation that you should never come in that light. If somebody gives you a weight limit, a couple of ounces under, so they've either got the calculation wrong, got the weight off him wrong, or trained him too hard. So it'll have an effect in the fight. It always does. Nobody ever comes in that light. Probably apart from Floyd Mayweather, but he can get away with it. So it's something to look at. I think Liam looked the bigger guy, looked in better shape. They're in great shape. I've seen Mark Heffron looking better, but it looks like he's took too much weight off. It looks like he lost a bit of muscle. He looks a bit dehydrated, but we'll see on the night, won't we?
Tom, see the game plan you had for Liam Williams going into the fight. Now you've seen Heffron making the weight. Are you going to make any adjustments?
No, we're not saying. Listen, I honestly think that people around Mark Heffron have been telling him he's a big puncher, and it'd be too much for Liam Williams. But he's almost started to believe his own hype. Yeah, he might be a big puncher, but he's been knocking over stiffs. And I might have to eat my words at the end of the night tomorrow night. But looking on who he's been feasting on over the last couple of fights, well, anybody would knock them over. Liam Williams can punch. He's been up, to our gym over the last 2 years before he came training with me, sparring with Kell Brook, Billy Joe Saunders. Kell Brook's hitting with full-on shots, and Kell Brook's a big guy, and he's powerful, and he's never made a dent on Liam Williams. So you can forget Mark Heffron stopping Liam Williams. Liam Williams, maybe if he gets cut, he's prone to cuts, maybe so. But there's no way that he's going to be, putting Liam Williams on the floor. Liam Williams is a tough kid. I've seen kids like him before. I've only trained him for one fight. But I've had him up a lot of sparring. I've got an idea, not when I'm training, when somebody else has brought him up, and he's come up on himself, or somebody's brought him up, and he always puts in a good show, and like it's always an even spar. Mark Heffron's not had that kind of sparring guys like that. Kell Brook, Billy Joe Saunders. So you get a measure, sparring, but you get a measure when somebody's somebody good like Kell Brook or Billy Joe Saunders start putting it on you. You can see in a fighter, what they've got, and Liam Williams has got it. So it's going to be a good fight. There's a lot of pressure on Mark Heffron. He's in Manchester. He's got a lot of hype about him, and we'll see on the night.
There's a good narrative to the fight as well. Obviously, Liam's bet his brother, Mark's brother. So do you think, as a fighter himself, do you think it'll be a personal sort of affair, or do you think it'll be hard sticking to the game plan?
I don't know. It all depends, doesn't it? It's a bit like when you were kids at school, and I used to do it when I was a kid at school. I was in fights, and I beat somebody up, and they bring their bigger brother, I beat them up, and they bring somebody else, and I beat them up. So it's like, who knows? But he did a good fight with Ronnie Heffron. I remember that when that fight came off. I thought, that's a good fight. I watched Ronnie Heffron's career coming through. He was beating everybody, pasting everybody, and I thought, this will be interesting. And I was surprised, because I never really heard of Liam Williams, and I was surprised with the result. So I don't know. Really, in this game, you can't let emotions get in the way. Mark's got to think about what he's got to do. They're not very similar fighters, I don't think. But it is a strange thing that Ronnie never boxed after that fight. Whether he just ruined his motivation, I don't know. But Liam's in a good place. He's trained well, as you can see. He's in fantastic shape. Made the weight easy. Yeah. Comfortable. Came in a couple of ounces under. Smiling, happy. He's been eating all the way up to the fight. Trained hard, some fantastic sparring as well. Yeah.
Another fight, Dom, you would have been watching closely the weigh-in as Frampton and obviously Josh Warrington. Reason being, Kid Galahad, who is your fighter, he's the mandatory now for the IBF title. Yeah. So what did you make of both guys at the weight, Frampton and Josh?
I'll be honest with you, I didn't actually hang around to see him weigh. I've seen him weigh loads of times before. I've seen Carl, I've seen Josh. So them guys at the level there, you're not going to learn a lot from the weighing. Yeah. I'd be more interested when they weigh. If they fight Barry, I'll be having a close look at them. But they've done it for a long time. They're at an high level. They know how to make weight. They know how to train properly. So never going to be an option. Be a problem with them. You're not going to learn anything from that. So it's going to be a good fight, and I just hope
Barry appeared at the press conference 2 days ago and he got shut down and he tried.
Yeah, well, they do because they're not interested. They don't want to. They don't want him. He's a fly in the ointment, and you know they don't want any part of that. But I think if Cole wins, he won't fight Barry. I think if Josh Warrington wins, there might be a possibility. You know, but whichever way it is, you know, wherever that IBF belt's going is where Barry's going. So you know they're not going to give him the swerve. They've got to fight him. So you know, bide us time. He boxed 2 weeks ago in Sheffield. You know, against a very tough kid. You know, which is hard to do when you've been, you know, I think you're 6 or 7 weeks after boxing in Boston, putting a great performance, get yourself motivated. But Barry's always in the gym. He was probably at 60% and comfortably beat that kid. But he just wanted to run out, and you know, it was a big risk, really.
Absolutely.
Could have got caught. He could have banged his hands up. But you know, when you know what you're doing, you know, you should be able to beat and fight anybody in front of you. And that's, you know, what slightly cheesy off about Cole Frampton is like, you know, if he's the champion, he should be fighting. He should be fighting who's coming through, you know, to challenge him, not, you know, doing a runner and going off to America and giving up the title and boxing somebody else. Because if he, you know, fails to face Barry, he'll not get that. He'll get stripped of that title.
Tom, you've been a busy man. Also, another fighter of yours on the gym tomorrow. I just seen his message on social media. 5:30. Billy Joe Saunders will be out tomorrow. How's Billy been?
Well, listen, you know, we had a great 6 months when he first came to Sheffield. He was flying. He beat Monroe. We beat Lemieux, and then he had a, you know, an up and down 2018. He hasn't boxed for a year, but you know what? He's been training all that time. Went to Boston. He was in great shape, and you know they pulled a fast one on him. They got his title off him, but he'll get back in the mix. He's determined. You know, he's bought a house in Sheffield. His feet are firmly planted in the gym. Everybody loves him. He's a great character, even if controversial. You know, and he keeps boxing fans interested. And he's entertaining to watch. He's had some great sparring. Look, it's just a tick-over fight this to get him out before Christmas, just to say he's boxed this year. And hopefully we'll hit the ground running in 2019. And, you know, we'll see big things from him. But I think he's realised with this, you know, 12 months it's been frustrating for him. And, you know, he can't afford to have that again because time's ticking on. You know, I think Billy inspired Tyson in his comeback, and I think Tyson's inspiring Billy. So they bounce off each other. There's a little bit of competition there. And, you know, looking at Tyson's last 2 fights before he boxed Deontay Wilder, you know, lots of people were saying he's got no chance, but what a performance. And, you know, just by the sheer fact that Tyson got the weight off him, he went out to Big Bear for 8 weeks, shows that he was serious about what he did. And when you can fight, you know, when you're a fighter, Tyson he's a fighting man. Billy's a fighting man. It's just about getting into the right kind of condition and the weight you need to be to perform. You know, people saying he's been out too long, he's going to be rusty. But it's nothing to do with that. When you can fight, you can fight. And, you know, fair play to him, what a cracking fight it was. He's put himself straight back up there, back on the map, and it should be a good, like I say, a good year for both of them.
Hey Fight fans, it's Michelle Joy Phelps. If you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you go ahead and do so by clicking this icon right here and hit the bell button so you can get notified every time we upload a new video. And we also have a free app available on iTunes and Google Play, so make sure you go and download that. Bye Fight fans.